Have you noticed? Have you truly noticed how the space between two bodies, once eager to collapse into one, can subtly, almost imperceptibly, begin to grow? Not from a sudden storm of argument or the sharp sting of betrayal, but from something far more quiet, a gentle, almost timid pulling away. It's like watching a tide recede, not with a roar, but with a whisper, leaving behind a widening stretch of sand where water once embraced the shore. You reach out, perhaps in the quiet of a shared evening, or in the soft liminal space between waking and sleep. Your hand seeks hers, a familiar gesture, a language spoken without words. And for a moment it feels different. The response is not absent, no, not a rejection that clangs like a bell. It's more akin to a breath held, a muscle tightened just enough to prevent a full surrender. Her touch, once so eager, so generous in its warmth, becomes reserved, a delicate, almost fragile withholding. This isn't about blame, never about blame. It's about a feeling, a profound human experience that many of us carry in the quiet corners of our hearts. That moment when you extend yourself, hoping to meet connection, and instead, your fingers brush against air. Not empty air, but air charged with a silent story, a narrative of something held back, something unsaid, something perhaps even unfelt by her own conscious mind. It's the touch that lingers for a fraction of a second less, the embrace that doesn't quite deepen into that familiar melting. The way her body, once a soft echo of yours, now feels like a separate island, beautiful and full, yes, but just beyond reach. A quiet mystery. We carry these moments, don't we? These subtle shifts in the energetic landscape of intimacy. They plant a seed of quiet sadness, a mild bewilderment. We remember a time when the mere proximity of her body felt like a homecoming, a complete immersion. Her skin, a canvas for shared stories. Her breath, a rhythm that synchronized with your own. Her touch, a flowing river of affirmation and desire. And now, it's as if the river has narrowed. The current has slowed. The water still present, but somehow less potent, less freely given. And in that moment, a question, unvoiced, begins to form within you. Why? What has shifted in the deep, silent currents between us? This is not a space for accusation, but for observation, for a gentle, courageous inquiry. Because between a man and a woman flows not just passion, not merely physical desire, but life itself, a profound living current that animates everything, creativity, joy, inspiration, healing, the very pulse of being. When this current is vibrant, it feels like an endless wellspring. When it falters, when it becomes blocked or diverted, we feel it in every aspect of our existence. It's not just about the absence of a touch, then. It's about the subtle dimming of a flame that once lit an entire world. It's about the sense that something essential, something vital, has become quiet. This quietness is not a sign of indifference often. It is often a sign of something deeper, something within her or within the shared space that seeks attention, seeks understanding. Think of it as the soul speaking through the body's language. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. And sometimes when that language becomes hesitant, or when the words are withheld, it is not because the soul has stopped speaking. It is because it is trying to communicate something that cannot be expressed in any other way, a need for deeper listening, for a different kind of presence. When that life current, that sacred energy begins to recede, it leaves us with a longing not just for physical closeness, but for the ease, the flow, the effortless connection that once defined your shared world. You remember the warmth, the effortless gravity that pulled you together, the feeling of being completely seen, completely felt, completely understood in the silent language of touch. And you sense its absence now, like a melody that has faded to a hum. This quiet withdrawal, this subtle reservation, it speaks volumes. It's a signal, not of a broken connection, but of an energy that has perhaps become tangled, or diverted, or simply misunderstood. It's an invitation to pause, to breathe, to listen beyond the surface, to feel into the truth that the body holds, the truth that the soul whispers. We are not here to fix or to force or to analyze with cold logic. We are here to understand, to feel, to expand our awareness. Because when energy is blocked, we don't just lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose that effervescent spark that makes life feel rich and full. And when that spark dims between two people, it affects everything. So let us begin this journey of understanding with reverence, with an open heart and a gentle mind. Let us acknowledge the subtle pain, the quiet bewilderment, the longing that arises when the once eager touch becomes reserved. This is not a judgment. This is an invitation to uncover the deeper reasons, to trace the currents of life itself, and to remember that within each of us and between us lies a vast, beautiful potential for reconnection. A potential that simply waits for us to see it, to honor it, and to breathe life back into its flow. To feel that the quiet struggles, the inner landscape, the silent yearnings are simply overlooked, this can create a profound sense of isolation, an invisible wall built brick by silent brick. How can energy flow outward when the inner self feels so starved of recognition? Sometimes the turning away is an echo from the past, old wounds, perhaps from childhood or from relationships long ended, lie dormant beneath the surface. And in the very intimacy that seeks to heal, these wounds can suddenly awaken. A memory, a feeling of vulnerability, a fear of judgment or abandonment. They rise unbidden, creating a barrier far more potent than any conscious decision. The body, in its wisdom, remembers, and it can recoil, not from the present touch, but from the ghost of a past pain. Consider also the pressure of expectations, the unspoken demands we place upon ourselves, or the subtle pressures we perceive from another. The idea that we must always be on, always ready, always desiring in a particular way. This can transform a natural impulse into a performance, and the soul, sensing this, will often withdraw. Desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing, and a soul cannot sing when it feels it must audition. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the vibrancy, the spark, the creative impulse that flows through all aspects of our lives. This turning away, it is not a personal rejection. It is not an act of malice. It is more often a deep and urgent communication from the soul, a call for understanding, a plea for healing. It is the spirit seeking refuge from shame, from fear, from the quiet guilt of not being able to give what feels depleted, or simply from the profound exhaustion that whispers, "I have nothing left." This invisible wall is not meant to keep you out, but to protect a tender, often wounded self within. It is a signal, not of indifference, but of a deeper need waiting to be seen, to be honored. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We speak of touch, of desire, and often we speak of them in whispers or with a certain awkwardness, as if these profound human experiences were somehow separate from the sacred, from the very essence of who we are. But what if we have simply forgotten their true nature? What if we have been looking through the wrong lens, seeing only the surface, missing the vast ocean beneath? Consider for a moment the word desire. How does it feel in your body? For many, it carries a weight of expectation, perhaps even a hint of shame. Yet I invite you to peel back these layers, to listen more deeply. For desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It is not merely a call from the physical body, though the body is its beautiful instrument. No, desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. It is the longing for connection, the yearning for resonance, the deep internal pulse that seeks to merge, to expand, to create. It is the universe within you reaching out to the universe outside. When we misunderstand this song, when we reduce it to mere physical appetite, we diminish not only our experience of intimacy, but our very capacity for joy and meaning. And then there is touch, the simple act of skin meeting skin. We tend to see it as a physical interaction, a prelude to something, or a casual gesture.
But what if touch, true touch, is something far more profound? What if it is a conduit, a channel for the very current of life itself? Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. This current is always there, waiting to be acknowledged, to be felt, to be honored. When we touch with presence, with awareness, we are not just exchanging sensation, we are exchanging energy. We are breathing life into each other, affirming existence, reminding each other of our inherent beauty and power. Think of it, the subtle shift in breath, the warmth that spreads, the quiet hum of recognition. This is not just chemistry, this is alchemy. When a hand rests on a shoulder, when fingers intertwine, when bodies embrace with intention, it is a conversation without words. It is the soul recognizing its kin. When we approach touch in this way, with reverence and full presence, it becomes a powerful act of healing. It can mend old wounds, soothe anxieties, and affirm the spirit. To be touched in this way is to be seen, to be heard, to be understood on a level far deeper than words can reach. It is to feel the unconditional flow of life energy moving through you, affirming your being. And to touch another with such presence is a sacred offering. It means bringing your full self to that moment, your attention, your warmth, your genuine desire to connect. It means listening with your hands, with your heart, to the subtle responses, the unspoken needs. It means allowing the touch itself to be a shared breath. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. And when you connect through touch, you are breathing with her, in a shared rhythm of existence. This profound understanding extends to what we call attraction. So often, attraction is viewed with suspicion as a primal urge that must be controlled or even suppressed. We are taught to fear its intensity, to label it as base or sinful. But what if we reframe this entirely? What if attraction is not a base impulse, but a higher calling? Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It is the recognition of resonant frequencies, of energies that seek to align, to complete, to create something new. It is the universe, in its infinite wisdom, orchestrating connections that lead to growth, to understanding, to expansion. To feel attraction is to feel the stirrings of life's creative impulse within you. It is a sign that there is something to explore, something to learn, something to share. When this potent life current, this sacred energy of desire and touch, is misunderstood or blocked, the consequences are far-reaching. We often wonder why passion fades, why intimacy becomes a chore, why a partner might withdraw from touch. The answer often lies not in a lack of love, but in a disconnect from this deeper understanding. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose our spark, our creative drive, our joy in simply being. The avoidance of touch, then, is often a symptom. It's a quiet signal that the deep current of life, the sacred exchange that touch represents, feels inaccessible, or has been wounded, or is simply not being honored. It's a sign that the soul's song is muted, waiting to be heard again. For men, too, this understanding is vital. The pressure to perform, to be strong, can often disconnect a man from his own sensual depth, from the wonder of true connection. But wisdom teaches us that power is not about force, but about presence, about connection.
A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder. When he stops seeing the universe in the eyes of his beloved. When he stops feeling the sacred current in a shared touch. When he stops listening to the soul's song. The potential of touch, then, is not merely physical pleasure, but a profound, sacred exchange of energy. It is an affirmation of life, a conduit for healing, a shared breath that weaves two souls into a tapestry of deeper understanding. To rediscover this, to re-sacralize touch and desire, is to unlock a wellspring of vitality, creativity, and profound connection that enriches every aspect of our existence. It is to remember the truth that our bodies hold, the wisdom our souls whisper, and the vibrant life that flows eternally between us. Love. Feel. Breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so we find ourselves at a threshold, don't we? A quiet place. A space where the heart perhaps yearns for what once was, or more profoundly, for what it has always intuitively known could be. The absence of touch, when it deepens, it can feel like a silence, a profound silence within the soul, a space where warmth once resided, now cooled by unspoken words, by unseen depths. It is natural to feel this ache, this longing. It is not weakness, no, it is a sign, a clear signal that the current of life within you still flows, still seeks connection, still remembers its essential, vital nature. But how do we bridge this chasm, this distance that seems to have grown silently, imperceptibly, this subtle separation? How do we invite back the tender currents, the soft electric flow that seems to have receded from the surface of intimacy? Our first instinct often is to reach, to ask, perhaps even to demand, to attempt to take what feels missing, to fill a void. Yet, true connection, profound intimacy, it can never be forced, it cannot be coerced, it must be invited, it must be cultivated, like a rare and delicate flower, a sacred bloom, watered not with expectation, not with pressure, but with presence, with understanding, with a patient, quiet reverence for the delicate unfolding of life itself. This journey back, it is not about techniques, you see. It is not about strategies. No, it is not about trying to reclaim what feels lost through external means, through clever words or actions. This is a journey of deeper awareness, an inner work, a profound transformation that shifts the very ground upon which intimacy stands. It is about creating a sacred space, an atmosphere of invitation, an energetic field that radiates safety and acceptance, where touch can naturally, gently, reawaken, like a forgotten melody heard again, like the dawn breaking after a long night. Consider this deeply. When a woman avoids your touch, it is rarely a rejection of you, not truly, not of your essential being. More often, it is a signal.
A whisper from her deepest self. A profound communication, perhaps, that something within her has felt unheard, unseen, unheld. Not physically necessarily, but energetically, spiritually, emotionally. Her body, her spirit, they are speaking a language that goes far beyond words, beyond logic. And to truly hear it, to truly understand, we must first learn to listen with more than just our ears. We must listen with our entire being, with our heart, with our soul, with every fiber of our awareness. This deep listening, it is an art, a profound practice, It is, in essence, a surrender, a letting go. It means quieting the clamor of our own desires, our own needs, our own anxieties, our own interpretations, just for a moment, to truly perceive her inner world, not to fix it, not to advise it, not to solve it, but simply to acknowledge it, to witness it, to hold it in a space of gentle reverence, of pure, unconditional presence.
So the question becomes, how do we help unblock these currents? Not just in her, but in ourselves. For the journey is always reciprocal. The dance is... And so we arrive at the quiet understanding that the space between us, that subtle avoidance, the gentle withdrawal, it is rarely a rejection in its rawest, most wounding form. More often, it is a whisper from the deepest chambers of the soul, a soft, almost imperceptible tremor in the energetic current, signaling a profound, often unspoken need, a need for true presence, a yearning for a deeper sense of safety, a quiet insistence on the recognition of the sacred pulse that beats within. We have, perhaps, been taught to speak of sexual energy as if it were a mere mechanical switch, something to be flicked on or off at will, dependent on circumstance or mood. But it is not a switch. It is the very river of life itself, flowing eternally, ceaselessly, always moving. Even when its surface appears calm and still, its profound depths are always in motion, carrying the unseen currents of existence. It is the animating force that quickens the heart, that lights the eyes with an unmistakable spark, that compels the artist to lose themselves in creation, the gardener to nurture life from the earth, the lover to reach out with an unspoken tenderness. This immense, vital energy, it does not truly die. It merely transforms, it deepening. It patiently waits for our conscious attention, for our willingness to see beyond the superficial. Perhaps somewhere along our journey, we learn to fear this potent force, to perceive it as something too unruly, too wild, too potent, too untamed for the polite, ordered corners of our modern lives. We have, through conditioning and misunderstanding, equated it primarily with a fleeting physical act, forgetting its vast, boundless, all-encompassing nature, forgetting that desire in its purest form is not merely the insistent calling of the body for physical union, but the soul singing its most ancient, most resonant song, a song of connection, a deep, soulful longing for wholeness, for merging, for reunion with the source from which we came. When that profound song seems to fade into a distant echo, when the touch that once ignited passion now feels simply distant, it is rarely because the energy itself has vanished. No, it is because something, somewhere, has become blocked. A dam, perhaps, built painstakingly, brick by brick from unspoken fears. A wall constructed from the rubble of past hurts, from moments of misunderstanding, from unmet expectations. A quiet, almost unconscious turning away from our own authentic truth. We learn, without even realizing it, to hold our breath, to constrict ourselves against the full, vibrant tide of life. And in doing so, we unwittingly diminish the very current that sustains us, that fuels our creativity, our joy, our capacity for deep, meaningful connection. Consider, for a moment, the profound simplicity of breath. When a woman breathes deeply, truly, completely deeply, allowing the breath to fill her entire being, from the crown of her head to the tips of her toes, life itself breathes with her. Her entire being expands, softens, becomes incredibly receptive, a vibrant chalice ready to receive. And when a man allows himself to look with true, unadulterated wonder, not just at her fleeting form, but at the luminous, eternal spirit that resides within her, at the very essence of her being, he does not lose power as the seasons of life unfold. He finds a different kind of power, a deeper power. He finds it in the quiet, knowing depth of his gaze, in the gentle, confident wisdom of his touch, in the profound reverence he holds for the intricate mystery that continues to unfold before him. This energy, this beautiful, potent, transformative force, is not something that needs to be aggressively acquired or painstakingly mastered through a series of techniques or rigid practices. No, it is something far more subtle. It is something to be allowed, to be gently recognized, to be profoundly honored. It asks for our conscious presence, for our quiet courage to feel, to truly feel, without the incessant clamor of judgment, without the heavy burden of expectation, to simply be with what is. How then do we begin to awaken this slumbering giant within? Not by striving, not by forcing our will upon it, but by a gentle, deliberate return to the very essence of who we are, by listening with an open heart to the subtle, quiet rhythms of our own bodies, by allowing our breath to deepen, to lengthen, to become a conscious, flowing wave that washes through every single cell, every cherished memory, every hidden corner of our being. This breath, it is the key. It is the bridge. Imagine, if you will, that your entire being is a precious, intricate vessel, and this energy, this sacred life force, is the purest, most vital water, waiting patiently to fill it to overflowing. If there are unseen cracks, if there are subtle blockages, the water cannot flow freely, cannot nourish every part. The very first step, then, is always to mend the vessel from within, to tend with utmost gentleness to the quiet, lingering wounds, to consciously release the breaths we have unknowingly held captive, to whisper words of profound forgiveness to ourselves for all the times we have, perhaps unconsciously, denied our own inherent light, our own essential nature. For many of us, the profound journey back to this vibrant, surging current begins with an act of exquisite simplicity, a focused moment of pure attention, a quiet moment of stillness, a deeply conscious breath drawn not just into the expansive chambers of the lungs, but into the very core of our being, into the compassionate heart, into the intuitive belly, into all the hidden sacred places where we hold both our deepest, most primal fears and our most transcendent, most profound joys. It is in these moments of gentle self-attunement that the true work begins. When we approach intimacy, not as a mere transaction, not as a performance to be judged, but as a sacred communion, a shared, resonant breathing, a gentle, unhurried merging of two distinct rivers into one vast, boundless ocean, then and only then do the old, persistent fears begin to dissolve, like mist before the morning sun. The carefully constructed walls begin to crumble, silently, gracefully, and the authentic current, the current of life itself, begins to flow again with a newfound, exhilarating grace and an undeniable, ancient power. Attraction, remember this truth, is not and has never been a sin. It is the universe itself in its magnificent complexity, remembering its own interconnectedness. It is the subtle, magnetic call of two souls, recognizing a shared, luminous spark of the divine within each other. And when we choose to honor this call, not just with the fleeting impulses of our bodies, but with our full awareness, our boundless compassion, our unwavering willingness to be truly, utterly present, then desire becomes not a fleeting, urgent impulse, but a profound, transformative gateway, a gateway to deep, abiding healing, a gateway to unbridled creativity.
A gateway to a deeper, infinitely richer, more vibrant and purposeful life. The sacred path to rekindling emotional closeness, to truly understanding your own unique energetic blueprint, to healing the often painful distance that arises between body and soul. It is not found in external seeking, in chasing after what is outside yourself. No. It is found in a profound inner shift, a gentle, deliberate turning inward, a quiet, heartfelt invitation to the very essence of who you are.
It is the recognition that the source of all authentic connection, all enduring love, resides always and eternally within you. It has never, for even a moment, left you. It has simply been waiting patiently for your attention, for your trust, for your courageous willingness to open, to surrender, to embrace. This sacred energy, this profound breath of life, is your inherent birthright. It is the eternal wellspring of your vitality, the boundless source of your inspiration, the pure, unadulterated capacity for joy that defines your very existence. Do not allow the lingering shadows of the past or the persistent whispers of societal conditioning to convince you, even for an instant, that it has faded or that it has become somehow unreachable. It is always there, pulsing, waiting, vibrating at the very core of your being, ready to be reawakened, not with a forced, strenuous roar, but with a gentle sigh, a quiet, profound recognition of its undeniable presence.